and want to pay attention just a little harder. So this is actually, for those of you who don't know, this is actually our third class, and ended up creating it because someone who happens to be pretty much a raving fan, it turns out, it really blew up. He did, I don't know, 40, 50 houses, and he actually published a book, and he does these webinars. And I think, I don't know, probably have 4 or 5 people on the call from him. And he invited me on a YouTube presentation. And on that presentation, they actually gave away some houses from Land Bank. And it was pretty interesting. And so he actually specializes in acquiring properties in Land Bank. And due to that, there's about 2,000 people on the calls. I ended up getting so many calls that I simply couldn't service them. I couldn't get back to them in a timely manner. And I realized that there are some pieces of the puzzle that I didn't have solved really to service that type of client. So created this more as a place to show them how to do it. And as I started to do it, I realized that this would be beneficial for everybody, and I can share more of what we do and what's unique to us. But in that, I wanted to include multiple other ways, because I know so many talented people. There's so many ways of doing things, and I didn't want to be in a situation where saying this is the only way that you can do it, and that you have to use me to borrow the money. You got to pay this to learn how to do it. And primarily, I started thinking that way because actually somebody watching on Facebook or something, so it's echoing in my head. So I don't know if you can mute it. If you're on both platforms, please mute one of them. So the problem is that I wanted this to be free. I wanted this to help other people so that they could succeed and rise up. And this is what I want to share about myself and why it's named Unstoppable Funding. And those of you who've known me a long time know that I was really, really down and out about 10 years ago. Was literally had a bag of clothes, had no place to live, was hopping from couch to hotel room for a night or two, and it was really rough. I had a mountain of debt, had all kinds of things, all kinds of barriers, and just digging out of it. And actually, way back then, I said in my mind, I said, you know what, I am going to do this, and I'm gonna go through these hard things, because somewhere in the future, someone else is going to say, I can't do this because I don't have a car, because I don't have any money, because I don't have a job, because I don't have a place to live, because of this or that, or whatever reasons we come up with. And I found out that I had done that to a degree with myself, and said, I can't do this because I didn't have a car, I didn't have a license, I owed, and because I owed the money, I had all these things that I was telling myself I couldn't do it. So I said in my head that I could do it. I just needed to start moving and started having action. And really what this is about is just consistent hard work. You can come through and and overcome anything. And I feel too, though, there's a lot of people that helped me get over this and make it to the other side. And I'm hoping that this can be a community where everybody can work together. It isn't just all about whatever they can make for themselves, but what they can contribute and help others achieve. So the first thing I want to do, though, is I want to go into this house that we decided to get and tell you a little bit about it. So everybody on this call is going to get a share of the profits in this house. This is a real house. Those are the actual pictures. Those aren't my workers. Those are just people that I plugged in there. So I don't know if everybody can see that well, but this is new house program. I'm calling it Learn and Earn Profit Participation Program. And there's no obligation other than being coming to the class. There's no investment on your part, and there's no, best of all, there's no risk. All there is upside. So I'm going to go through this a little bit to where we are today. I announced that we were going to start looking to do this, I think, 1 week ago. And first thing I want to do is that the very first meeting, I kind of covered how we go about finding properties and how I sift and how I decide what's a good property and what's would not be a good property. And so this house that we chose, we didn't do anything special. All we did is we found the home. It was right on Zillow. This is a regular listed house. I actually had Angela, who was on the call. She's a realtor. I had Angela go look at another home that I was planning to buy, and in so doing, we got focused on this neighborhood. Angela, who's also a really good realtor, and this is why it's really good to align yourself to with a good realtor, knows what you're trying to do. I think there's a couple on this call that, because they can help you find these as well. So I believe, and Angela, I don't know, is this one that I sent you on the list, or did you find this one all on your own and then told me about it? That's the part I don't remember, because I put a bunch on a list.
I think this was something that you had
On the list?
had not had on the list.
Had not had on the list.
I do not believe you had this on your list, but after I could see what you did have on your list, that's where we tried to focus in this area. And
Okay.
After we talked about it a little bit further, this
Right.
is something that we decided to go and take a peek at.
It was very close in price and proximity to the other house. That's what I was wondering. So, okay,
It
perfect.
was.
All right. And so then next, guys, when we ended up buying the house. So last week we had another speaker, Raul Reddy, on the call, and he described something called transactional funding. And so we were able to make a cash offer, basically using Raul's money. Thank you, Raul. And I know last week too, Raul, if you're here, a number of people were very excited. I know Alfonso, you were real excited about that program last week and already thought, and by the way, Raul, I mean, were you able to do anything with that idea, Alfonso? Just real quick, if you just want to add in or chime in. I mean, Alfonso, if you're there.
You got to repeat. I had to step away for a call. What'd you say?
Hey, I was talking about the program that Raul already had last week with the transactional funding. Were you able to use that for your benefit last week?
Nah, not yet. But I got a couple of deals working. I'm waiting on numbers before we use it. But me and Raul had a great conversation. Ready to rock.
I know you told me that you were real excited about it, so I didn't know if you had gotten anything going, going or not. But it's only been a week, so it's not real long. Okay.
I spoke to him. I spoke to him after the meeting too, about a couple of different things.
Yeah. So beyond what we're doing, and so we're using him. We are using Raul to facilitate the purchase cash on this house, and then what we're doing here is we're using an unsecured loan from the reseller for down payment and closing costs. So what's happening is Angela's buying the house, selling it to me, and then doing an unsecured loan from herself to me for the down payment and closing costs. Okay. So going a little bit quick here, but this is stuff that was covered in the other class. The next part is we are using a true hard money lender for this. This is a little bit harder than other lenders, meaning I feel that the word hard money has gotten a little bit muddied. So you have hard money that's kind of like a hybrid in my mind. So if you think about a car that is a hybrid, it's not truly electric and it's not truly gas. It kind of uses both depending on the circumstances. So a lot of the lenders that I call hard money they have caveats or parts of what they offer that are hard money, but in reality, they kind of combine maybe a requirement for credit, a requirement for down payment, or maybe might be income. This hard money lender doesn't require any of those. There's no credit verification, no income verification, or funds to close stated or otherwise. And they just look at the value. And so we put this one together, and the loan was approved in 1 hour and 30 minutes once we put it together, which apparently they said was a record. But that's really because we know what we're doing, and we had all our ducks in a row on the very first opening. So it actually was approved technically with clear to close pending title at this point and the scope of work. I gave them with this lender, what they do is you give them a loose scope of work that's not complete, and they do want you to have the full scope of work in there before you close. They do basically a desktop with the pictures, and they give a value right away. So they already attribute a value and decided what they would lend on it. So that said, going into the details of the house. So the purchase price all in is $56,000. So this is with all the things Angela and I have worked out. At the end of the day, $56,000 is where I'm in all the way. That's and so we've allowed. We also allowed for $60,000 in rehab. So far, the highest quote has been $55,000. Now, interestingly enough, I had 2 others look at it, and then today I had someone who I regard as one of my most effective flippers. He does about 5 a year, but what's unique about him is he generally completes them in about 1 to 2 months, and he sells them. He sells them like within a couple weeks. So he is just really got a system. He has a permanent crew because and that's why he's always looking to buy one. He anyway, he went out and saw it today. He said, I absolutely love this house. He really liked it. And so here's what we're going to do. Now, he actually wrote this before he looked at it, because he actually looked at it. I literally got off the phone with him half an hour before this class started. The home currently is a 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath with 2-car garage and a basement. Currently, before the rehab is a bungalow also. So a bungalow, for those of you who don't know, is a home that has sort of like a ranch, and then has like a large attic with high ceilings that allow you to finish it out. And in this case, they did finish it out for a master bedroom, but they didn't finish the entire thing, just enough for a bedroom on one side of the stairway. And then there's a bunch of open area on the other side of the stairway. And on the other side, it's not finished either. So that allows us to have some potential there. So I'll be talking about that in a minute. The approximate square footage is 1,200 square feet. What we plan to do is we plan to put in a whole new kitchen. So we're going to put in new cabinets in the kitchen, granite counters, new appliances. The floor in the kitchen is going to be tile. In the bathrooms, we're going to have a new surround tile, new vanities, tubs, toilets, and tile floors. We're also, though, in that extra area, we decided that we could put a bathroom in that top floor and what's currently unfinished space with a walk-in shower to create about 200 extra square feet and attractive master bedroom suite. I put the floors in the rest of the home would be vinyl plank. But I made a mistake. The guy that went out to see it today, he said those hardwood floors on the main floor are in excellent condition, except for in the bedrooms. So he's gonna resand and refinish those. And in the bedrooms, he said that those are a little bit tore up, so we're gonna put carpet in the bedrooms. That's the plan. And then on the second floor, he said that that could also be hardwood. So that's now the new plan. We're also going to be putting in a new roof on both the garage and the main house. We're going to be taking the 2 garage doors and converting it into 1 garage door. We're putting in a new HVAC system and trim around all the windows. He said the windows are in good condition, and we're going to do some landscaping. All of that for about $55,000. I said, how long is it going to take you? And he says, 5 weeks. He says, I can't see it taking any more than 5 weeks. So just let me know and we'll get right in there and start demoing it. So anyway, and this is an area too where I've already talked to him about this in the future, is that we're going to grow his crew a little bit. Because what I want to get to is that one of the biggest things I have encountered with other individuals wanting to flip is that they don't know where to find subs, or subs don't show up, or they don't get the job done. And you know what? When you're borrowing the money, that costs a lot of money really fast. Delays in the job. And I can see Scott in there. You're the only person I can see at the moment, shaking his head like, yep, that can cost a lot of money. Delays cost a lot. And Scott Christie, by the way, is on the call. And I just got to do a shout out. Scott is a fairly new flipper, although he's done 2 or 3 now, 3 completed flips, right? And his first one took close to a year, I think. And then the last one, or was it not that long? How long did your first one take, Scott? Go ahead and speak up. Seven to 9 months. And then the last one you did, how long did it take you to finish that one? That last one that you just bought that in September and you're done. So you're trying to, so and you know, everybody, this is going to be a little bit of a learning curve. I think we might end up going mostly on one platform or the other, because I realize that not everybody can hear him. So Scott was just sharing that he had been 7 to 9 months for the first one. And this last one, though, I know he did it like in 3 months, so I was pretty impressed. It's like, wow, you got that done fast. He says that's the difference between hiring somebody to do the work and doing it that does it all the time and doing it yourself. So, and that's it too. You might make less on the surface doing it yourself, but having someone that's reliable doing the work and having it all planned out really pays off in spades for most people. So I'm going to go on to the next slide here. And so this one here is just basically breaking down what we expect to make and the actual numbers on the deal. So our cost all in, including the closing cost, taxes, et cetera, it's about $56,000, our actual net cost. The rehab will be potentially as much as 60,000. That's what I budgeted for it. So that's 116,000. The estimated ARV on this was 175 to 200. The lender, actually, when I told them with the bathroom, they ended up giving me 190 as their final value on it. The marketing cost, we're going to have 6%. I'm assuming 6% to the realtor. So about 175. That's going to equal about 10,500. This particular loan does include escrows. So taxes and insurance will already be put into this number. I put 6 months carrying cost. So that put me at about $90,000. But with the home, if the home is actually able to be done in 2 months, we should be done well in advance of that. So it could be less. There's a couple other extra costs that are not in here. I'm going to have to get an owner's policy for whoever buys it, and there will be transfer tax when I sell it. Next,
John, did I
would
give you
you-
the numbers that
Sarah,
I
would you
use
answer
when
that?
I do those?
What's that?
Did I give you those numbers that I use when I'm just giving an estimate on calculating those? Transfer tax and an owner's policy?
No, I don't know if you gave me those. So Angela's asking if she gave me those numbers. I don't think you did, but I mean, it's just gonna be a couple of thousand, I would imagine.
$8.60 per thousand on the transfer tax.
$8, so $860 for transfer tax approximately. Well, no, for 200 would be about 1,500.
About $1,500, yeah. And then
Okay.
$2,000 for title fees.
$2,000 for title fees. All right. And then, so we're figuring that our net profit's gonna be between $40,000 and $65,000. Just to be clear on that.
Woohoo!
Yeah, so, and that's what everybody on the call today will be entitled to a share. So I want to get into that just a little bit deeper and how the shares work, because I know everybody's on here wanting to get involved with knowing how the shares work. So we will be pledging 10% of the profits to the class. All participants of week 1 will be entitled to participate in the profits. So I'm calling this week 1. You know, I talked about the other ones, other classes of the week 1 of when we bought the house. So what I had told everybody in the previous weeks is that the week that we announced the house and the actual project, that everyone on that call would be entitled to a share. So everyone who attends today is entitled to 1 share. Every time you attend another class for the next 5, you'll receive another share. So there'll be no more than 6 opportunities to get shares. We should cover everything. What I'm hoping to do is take the same material and then redo it, and then just basically have a 6-week course that you can always go to, or new people can go through. So we have really a curriculum, so that when you're done with it, you feel pretty confident about going ahead and flipping your first house. Next, if you do invite anyone to attend during the class, you will receive another share. Now, in order to get your share, you must register. I'm not able to tell everybody's on here very easily, so I just don't want anybody to get missed out. And a lot of times, for several of you, I just have emails. I don't really have your name, phone number, and I'm going to need to really keep track of that. So to register, you need to send an email to team@unstoppablefunding.com. Include your name, phone number, and your email. Also confirm that you joined the Facebook group Unstoppable Funding University. I want to state for the record that this will not be the last house we do. We're going to do more, and there's going to be more opportunities for you to continue to share. So even if you've gone through the full 6 weeks and we do another house for the next class, and you're in that class, you can go ahead and share in that one too. The one thing, and I want to let everyone know that I didn't realize that the 2 different platforms would not be super compatible. So what happened is I can't easily share the content. So if I share the Zoom onto the Facebook, then the audio doesn't carry through, and it got kind of complicated. So I haven't quite worked out the technical kinks yet. So I do apologize for that. So yeah, I'm gonna probably ask everyone today to kind of like I'll put on the website. I'm gonna put kind of like a vote if you'd rather have it on Facebook or if you'd rather have it on Zoom, and that's just the way it'll be in the future. Because I just want everybody to have a really good experience on here and to be able to hear what everybody else is saying and pick up on the energy that's going on. And because I'm the only one that everybody can hear, actually, Tim, you might be able to do this. I don't know, but if you could, if you're able, Tim, are you able to, I'm gonna stop sharing on there for a minute. Are you able, Tim, to, are you still here? I'm not
Yeah,
hearing.
can you hear me?
Yep. Are you able to join on Facebook too, on the Facebook University?
I can try.
Or you probably can't on your phone at the same time. You'd have to be on, what I found is if you're on two different devices, it works, which is what I'm doing right now. So you could do it on one, you could do Facebook on your phone. I just wanted to be able to hear what you say on the Facebook listeners, that's all.
Sure. So when I go to Facebook,
Go to Unstoppable University.
okay,
Or you might have a notification, maybe not. You know what, you might not be able to get there as easily.
are you in a room?
Yes, we're in a room.
Start time now. Should I click that?
Yep,
February 15th. Let me click on that. Save. Well, let me see.
if not, I'm gonna paraphrase for the Facebook group, what's going on. at
Oh,
the
join
moment.
room. Let me see if this works.
All right,
What if people on Facebook just join Zoom?
yeah, they could do that too.
All right, does that work?
I don't see in the Facebook group myself.
The call has audio issues.
All right,
Hmm.
so, all right, so Tim,
Oh, how's that? Is that working?
well, you don't see us, right? So,
Correct.
so yeah, apparently it's not working. So, and I had this problem too. I think I accidentally created
How's
two.
that? Is it working now?
Not that I can tell. Hold
Well,
on.
I'm being videotaped. Share link.
It's all right, guys. So here's, so Tim, I'm just gonna, what I'm gonna do is just whet their appetites for next week, because we don't have to drag this on real long. So Tim, and I have been, working on creating, and we're still working on aspects of it, but we're gonna be providing, basically, homes that have been foreclosed, are in foreclosure, and show you methods of how to acquire those houses even after the sheriff's sale. I'm going to unveil a program, and we're working on actually doing some of the background and marketing and so forth to acquire those opportunities. And those would be things that we're going to be posting on the actual website at the group room for Unstoppable Funding University. Tim also is going to be providing information on tax sales. Is that right, Tim?
Yes.
On tax sale information, yeah. So there'll be opportunities on acquiring tax sales, acquiring
Foreclosures,
and foreclosures,
for sale by
other things.
owners, if anybody wants to go down that route.
So there's gonna be, so there's gonna be great opportunities for wholesalers, flippers, and so forth. And if you don't know, if you're struggling and you're needing to make money, is there anybody on the call who really needs to make money in the next couple of weeks? Like they just need money in their pocket in like 2 weeks, or it's gonna cause them a great deal of pain.
I do.
Lisa, all right, you do. I see Scott raising his hand. So I'm gonna give you a
I just
couple of
like
quick
money.
ideas. So Lisa, I'm gonna tell you, Lisa, that Lisa chimed in. Lisa, I've already seen the stuff you're sending me and the stuff you're finding. I think that you could easily put one of those under contract using what Raul has. And you could post it on the site. And I'm sure one of our clients would be really happy to pay you a finder's fee or something for finding that house. I personally would even be interested in doing that just to have it available to everyone. So keep up that work. We'll talk a little bit more about that. Secondly, we do pay, we have initiated a referral fee situation as well. So if you do want to refer somebody to us for getting financing, this is for the non-professionals that we don't have actual relationships with, where they are doing some of the work. Because we can pay more. If you want to do some of the work, we'll pay you for it. But we'll pay between $250 and $500. If you're interested in that, and talk to me, and we'll lay that out for you so you get an idea of what would be required to obtain those funds. And that's it. We're going to keep trying to create additional opportunities to make more money and to get more done. Now I'm just going to stop for a second, stop talking, because I've been talking, I'm talking. Who, is there anyone on here that would have some specific question that they would been thinking about and that they'd like to ask? Maybe you'd like to know what this is all about. Maybe you'd like to know, have us provide some specific answers to questions you've wondered about this whole process, about funding, so forth.
I have a question, John.
Sure. Okay, Kimberly speaking. Go ahead, Kimberly.
Yes. So with the tax lien and foreclosure, that really sparked my attention. When I saw that, I really got my attention. Is that easier in one state versus the other? Like, I'm here in Florida, but of course we were interested in doing some investing in Michigan as well, there in Detroit. Is that one state versus the other? Is it a little easier, as you go along?
Very good question. So Kimberly asks if it is more difficult to do foreclosures in one state versus another. And what I'm going to say, Kimberly, is that it's absolutely different depending on what state you're in. And every state, you're going to have to become aware of what it's like in that state. Now, I'm very versed in Michigan, mildly versed in Florida. And other states, I'm still learning. And that's where we're going to have title professionals and so forth that can guide us through that, because that is a significant area where we can get tripped up if we don't do our homework. So whenever you're buying houses, you have to do your due diligence, you have to do your homework, and you got to get a good team of professionals involved with it. Great question, Kimberly. Next week, though, I'm going to have Tim on there, and I'm going to also be inviting back I think I'll be inviting Aaron back again because he's covering all the states. And I may also invite another person by the name of Irina. She also covers all the states in that regard. So we will see.
Thank you.
So they're a little bit more, they might be a little bit more versed in some of those other states. In Florida, I think there's a gentleman I know, and his name is Juan, and he is an attorney for a title company I work with pretty frequently. I'm pretty sure he'd be happy to hop on a call and tell us the ins and outs in Florida, like you asked. All right, and so I have a question now from Andrew on the Facebook side. So Andrew, go ahead, please. Okay, I love it. So I'm going to relay what you said. That's what I have to do. And next time we're going to go on one platform, I think. Everyone on my Zoom call, what Andrew said, and Andrew is a pretty experienced contractor, realtor, flipper, if I believe, have my Andrews correct. He said he missed last last week. So he wasn't clear on how to go about finding it. Is that what you were talking about? Or are you talking about the transactional funding? Andrew, just want to be clear on your question. So, yeah, so so here's the great thing is that we recorded that one. I'm going to post it on our page because it went on for about an hour. And Raul did really in depth on it. So we're gonna post that. But basically, it's using Raul does that with a secondary sale. So you basically end up with a double close. So he will give you a proof of funds so you can acquire the property for 0 down. And so you just have a cash offer as far as he's going to give you a proof of funds letter. He'll provide the cash at closing. And he literally wires the money. He will wire the money to the closing. And then when you are able to resell it or finance it, you pay him back. So there is a whole strategy with that. And I can tell you that 100% for sure, you can do it without funds. Now, what I'll tell you that there's when I started doing this, and I saw somebody on chat, how do you get started with no money? So I'm going to tell you that Raul and Ron Glenn, who I don't know if Ron made it on the call or not, but
I'm here.
Raul, yep, Ron is here. Okay. So when I first started in this, I basically just found properties for Raul and Ron to purchase. Raul and Ron worked together, or did at the time. I think they still do quite a bit. And I would contact Ron or Raul with my property. I usually talk to Ron the most at the time. And he'd go over the property. And if they liked it, I got $500, like pretty much, so that was, for me, that was a living. I mean, I was really struggling. So $500 really got me there. And then the thing is that, depending on your stage, sometimes you do have to walk before you run. Now, once you learn a little bit more about what you're doing, maybe you'll decide that, oh, I want to find out more about how to wholesale. I want to find out more about, maybe you'll want to become a realtor. Maybe you'll want to come work with us and be a loan officer. Maybe you want to be, there's all different kinds of avenues that would be involved in it. Maybe your specialty is building. We're trying to create right now a reliable team where somebody who finds the property and all they got is they just want to build it, but they really want to be hands off. I want to have a team that they can rely on, so that they know where their title work's going to come from, where they're going to get the insurance, and we're going to manage the project for them, do their scopes of work, do the project, be totally turnkey. So they're able to scale it and not be and able to just do as many as they'd like to do. So that's the dream, and what we are working towards. I think that would truly make us unique. But I will post that though. Andrew, thank you for asking, Andrew. I know that's really it is a barrier. I mean, it was a barrier for me for quite a long time. Money is always a barrier. I can tell you, you can always do it with no money. It's just that you're not going to make as much. You're going to pay a price for having to use other people's money. And that's it. So you're going to make less money. But that doesn't have to stay that way. Sometimes you just got to pay your dues, as they say. All right, go ahead. Does anybody else have anything that they'd like to just shout out and ask? Sure, go ahead, Andrew. What I did is I kind of gave him a general idea from the pictures I saw, because I mean, I'm in Florida. This house is in Michigan, so, so I haven't personally, you know, so what I did is I said, I took some people that I knew and I've seen their work and I have an idea of what they do. And I kind of laid out what I thought would work. But I also know that I want to give them artistic license to be able to go out and say, this is what I think is going to be done. And, I want to take the handcuffs off and let them tell me what they think is going to do. Because, honestly, I'm really good at numbers and I'm good at getting financing done. As far as actually getting out there and doing it, I'm not talented at it. So I want to leave that to somebody who really is a pro and expertise in that field. And as far as the scope of work and how they're filled out, I am absolutely going to have a class. I'm going to say next week, we're probably going to have that be at least half the class, how to fill out a scope of work, how to make it so that the lender's happy. It's a really, really big piece. And it's really important too, because the lender is going to use that as a roadmap, not only for the value, but the entire time that's going to dictate how much money you get. And so, and if you change it a little bit, it's not super easy. It's not super difficult. I mean, they will change it, but it's not just, you can't just do whatever you want and expect to get the money. So you have to pass it through a process to change your scope of work. So that scope of work sometimes is just not given enough attention. And you're right, it really does need to be, looked at and given a lot of thought before you do so. Absolutely. Well, yeah, and Andrew's just saying he's really delighted that we're going to have that, be part of it. And he's right. That's something that really does get overlooked. And I'm really going to show some examples of, I'll scrub names and stuff, but of some other actual scopes of work, the way I get it. And I will tell you that on a typical loan, an individual scope of work probably is about 4 hours of my job. Because once the person turns it into me, I look at it and I know that if I turn it in just the way it is, it's going to have a really hard time getting approved. And the values just are not, you're just not going to get the values. And so I have to rework it. I have to give a lot of information that I know the lender's going to want to have. And it's very time consuming. And then sometimes it's not exactly what the person wants. And so having this education, I think, is going to be really helpful in helping everyone navigate that. And that's my hope. And yeah, so anyway, guys, I really appreciate everybody getting on the call. I want to stay true to my promise. These calls tend to go over. I don't know how many Zoom calls I've been on that they just go on, but I really am excited about having Unstoppable Funding University group. I'm really excited that so many of you have joined it. I really want to make it something different and meaningful. So, I'm not going to be on here going, oh, you need to use me because I gave you this information. I want to earn the business every step of the way. I want to make all of you more successful and empower you to be able to have a chance to have your own business and make a good income doing this. And so I want to put forth different people who are stars and have really taken off and excelled at it so that you can copy what they did. You don't have to reinvent it from the ground up. You can just do what they did, and to learn also from the mistakes that they've made God knows I've made a few. I've seen so many others make plenty. And hopefully we can get all through that together. And sometimes you'll see me posting different things that are vulnerabilities or things that maybe others would hide. But I think that sharing those things openly and showing that we overcome it gives us overall strength, because you can relate to it. You can say, oh, wow, okay, I can talk to him about this openly because he's been there. He knows what I'm talking about. And I want everyone to know that you're welcome to talk to me about anything you're going through. And every week too, I do want to feature what I'm going to call the unstoppable story. And those are going to be different flippers that have overcome different obstacles, or different individuals have even overcome maybe life circumstances during their flip. And just to inspire and lift up everyone. And anyway, thank you so much for everyone for being here. If anybody has anything else they just want to jump out and say real quick, go right ahead. Oh,
I
one
have a-
more thing. One more thing I want to add. I am going to be having morning coffee and go, because I feel like that keeps me having a beat, talking to everybody, gives everybody an opportunity to jump on and say hello. It's just meant to be 15, 20 minutes in the morning. You don't have to be there, but you can be, and you can just jump on and say whatever's on your mind, talk about the day, get your mind in the right set. So that's going to be about 8:30. At the moment, it'll be 8:30 every morning. It may change times in the future, but right now, watch for it. It's just coffee, morning coffee, coffee and go. All right, go ahead, Fuchsia. Sorry about
Oh
that.
yes. No, it's okay. So, hi John. So I'm also a wholesaler as well. And I wanted to know either doing it the wholesale way or just getting a finder's fee. If you can you send me, or maybe other people if they're interested as well, your buy box or other investors you have in your corner as well, their buy box, so that we can give you guys properties as well that can be potential real good deals for you guys if possible.
I like that. And what I'd like to do is just have them posted on the page and get used to doing it,
Mm.
because that helps everybody out. And I think that would help out someone like Garrett, some others. So what Fuchsia said is that she said she's a wholesaler, and she'd like to know what everyone's buy box is, so that she could post, so she could put it on the page and say, hey, I'm gonna, this is what what I'm looking for, so that she can maybe check her inventory and put it out there. In future, I'd like to say the stuff you do have put out there anyway, but definitely everyone, I encourage you just to post it right on the, right into the group, whatever you're looking for, and give everyone a chance to find it. And that'd be fantastic. I love the comment. Thank you so much, Fuchsia.
Thank you.
I love that too. Hey, we've gotten a ton of emails already, so I just wanted to remind everyone, if you haven't emailed us at team at Unstoppable Funding, make sure you get your information over to us today.
I think between everything, we might have had 20 participants, possibly.
I think
So that's great. At least, yeah. Okay. So
Hey,
fantastic.
Arn,
Yes.
between Catrice and Sarah, you and I have had a conversation a couple of times, and maybe it didn't get past to them. So I'm going to say it here, and hopefully we can get this going. But I had requested that we send out an email with everybody's contact information and their location, so that we can do some real networking. Because me, like everyone else, I'm in the Washington metro area, but I do business in Florida. I do business in New York, Ohio. I want to know where everybody else is, so that we can have some other people to lean on when we got deals going on in those areas.
And I think that's
a great way to build your network too.
fantastic. Alfonso, I like that. I think that the only thing is yeah, everyone is providing me this list. And so I think I can send out an email to everyone, Alfonso, from the list from this call, and request they provide that information, we circulate around. But we do have the page now, and if I can get everybody to participate as far as just introduce themselves on there and say, hey, I'm here. This is what I do. And this is what I'm looking to, where I'm at. We can collect information there too. But I could see like phone numbers and stuff like that. You wouldn't want to necessarily have that public. So I think everybody'd have to opt in on that. I can't just blanket do that. I'd have to have individuals choose to opt in. So I'm going to put that back out there, Alfonso, right on the page, like you said, and have everybody message us or email us with that. And we'll start compiling that list. I like the idea. I know there's a lot of people on this call that would have absolutely no objection to that. And would also recognize the value in that. So thank you. And my goodness, thank you, everybody. This was a great turnout. I am so pleased to have everybody here. And just wow. I am really excited. And then several new faces too. I don't know if I haven't talked to Ivo before. I don't think I've talked to Natalie before. And I don't think I've talked to Tyler before. So anyway, so I'm just grateful. Olivia, see a whole lot of new faces on here. So fantastic. Thank you, everyone. And I'm gonna.
Do you save these or no? Your Zooms?
Yes, this was recorded. At least I think it was. Yeah, it is recording. So so I'm going to be posting last week's probably tomorrow. I may edit it just a little bit. And then this one will probably be posted after next week's class as well. So it'll be about 1 week lag.
Okay, thank you.
I just want to go through it and make sure there's nothing personal or anything on there that somebody wouldn't want to have out there on the whole internet forever.
Thank you so much, John.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. Have a great day again. And remember, everybody repeat after me. I am unstoppable.
I am
I
unstoppable.
am unstoppable.